Okay, well, hello everybody.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, are we starting?
Nice take.
I didn't realize we were starting right now.
Every time. Well, you may have noticed that we are not in our usual recording spot, and we have a special guest.
You have a guest.
Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
how special I am,
He's
but
special.
Seth Habhegger is joining us, my partner in radio over here. Is kind enough to join us. Seth has been a great supporter of the podcast, so we've really appreciated that and thought, hey, let's bring in a partner. Let's
Yeah.
bring in a friend.
And speaking of radio, where are we?
We are at the WFHR studios.
Oh.
Big shout out to Civic Media and a big thank you to them for letting us do this. Right across from us are the WIRI studios. So it's kind of fun.
Very cool. A little field trip today.
Yeah, a field trip. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Field
that's
trip
the word
energy.
for it. That is the word for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We do want to always thank our audience. We're not able to do this without all of you. Otherwise, it's just Bree and I talking to ourselves, which is fun.
It's
but
fun,
you know,
yeah.
it is a lot more fun to have all of you involved. So thank you so much for everybody who joined us.
Yeah.
We are on 36, or no, 35.
35,
This is
yeah.
number 35.
Wow.
Woo.
Oh, and before we start, we have two new Muppet heads that I want to thank. Christine, who's a dear friend of mine. We play D&D together. She's wonderful. And Deanna, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Hopefully I am. Sorry if I didn't. But thank you guys so much. It's so much fun on Patreon, and it's just been a treat.
Yeah. I should warn everybody right away. Sitting in this chair doing this, I'm immediately like, I want to ask you both a million questions because that's part of my job. I just want
well,
to,
James.
so tell me
It all started.
So if I fall into radio voice, I apologize. And if Seth does, I think it's understandable. I think it's understandable.
I don't really have a radio voice.
No, not really. No, actually,
Maybe
now that you say that,
I've been doing a little bit on IRI, but
You have just a good general, like, speaking voice, so I feel like it's just
I
automatically.
don't need to mess with that much, right?
Yeah.
You don't. No, you do. You're doing a really good one. Before we get going, Seth, I wanted to just put you on the spot. Ask you a question real quick. What is your experience with the Muppets? What was kind of your early experiences? Do you have a favorite Muppet? All that kind of stuff.
I do. You know what's funny? I'm trying to remember if I vaguely remember watching the Muppet Show. Okay, so I was born in '78, and then I think that's about when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably would have been, I would have been very young by the time the show was wrapping up. I think I went to the theaters to see the movie.
Oh.
If not, we saw it very early on videotape, probably beta.
Yeah.
Because we had a Betamax, I don't know why. Probably my dad was like, "This is what it's going to be. We're going to keep this one." Right?
We're going with the winning team here, baby.
Yeah. But I do remember seeing that very early and being and enjoying it a lot. In fact, we had the soundtrack record
Oh wow.
from the movie, which my sister and I listened to incessantly.
As you
That's
should.
awesome.
So
That is cool.
So there's definitely for the movie specifically. That's the main thing that I remember and love, of course, because through nostalgia and whatever. But
Oh yeah.
but I've been a fan of the Muppets throughout the years. Every time there was a special on TV or a new movie to a certain point, we would.
Yeah.
I had cousins that liked them, so we would always go and check it out.
Cool.
So.
Should send a shout out to Beth and the boys, your wonderful team that you got there, your
Yep.
family.
Aw.
With having two young boys, have they gotten into the Muppets at all? Have they seen any of that?
They've seen a little bit, but they at this point they have not. But to be fair, I mean, there's so many other things that they get involved in anymore.
It's
But
so different than when we were kids.
yeah, but occasionally they'll pop in if we watch, something recently. Beth loves Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
We
Yeah.
basically watch that every year. So she's
got good taste.
yeah.
that's Bree's thing. That is definitely.
So they've seen that one a couple of
Cool.
times.
That's
So.
Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. So we have a little bit of background there for our
Yeah.
audience and for you to
Oh.
understanding some of that.
And do you have a favorite Muppet?
Good
If you had to
question.
pick one.
I think it's a toss-up for me, but I think if I had to, the chips were down, I'd have to go with Fozzie
Oh, good choice.
because of the bad
Yeah.
jokes.
Yes.
But a very close second is Sweetums.
Oh,
Yeah?
yes, we
All
love
right.
I love
Sweetums.
Sweetums.
Yes.
Oh, so this is gonna be pretty surreal for you to have Sweetums right over there.
Yeah, right.
That's gotta be pretty cool. Huh?
He is a wonderful intern.
It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
Sorry about the studio roof, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. He doesn't really fit in here very well.
No.
That part we didn't think.
Nowhere.
through.
Nowhere. He fits
To be
nowhere
fair,
well.
that is fair. That is fair. All right. And I did want to mention before we got going too, as well. Be sure to check out the merch shop on Etsy. That
Oh,
is
yeah, we're sporting
fantastic.
our
We've got the
shirts
shirts
today.
on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's more stuff on there now
Yes,
since
I
the last
added a
time we
few
talked about
items.
it. You've done a great job at that, Brie. I
Oh,
really do
thank you.
appreciate all the work you put into it, and I know that I'm not alone there. There's a lot of other people that have been using it.
Aw,
Go on to
thank
Etsy,
you.
type in What the Muppet, like that, and just like you do with our podcast on YouTube, and encourage everybody to spread the word about the show. Every time I talk about it on our morning show here, I see our subscribers go up, I see the views go
that's
up.
So nice.
Big thank you to everybody that's been supporting the show.
Just a big Muppety community.
I just want to say it's probably not about you guys. It's probably the Muppets.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. And we're okay.
I don't want to burst your bubble or anything.
No,
but,
but
you know.
it's a very fair point. It's a very fair point. And thank you again. So with that, on with the show.
All
right.
I think we
Yep.
start the show. And Seth, you are going to be doing most of the main
I
heavy
get to
lifting
do the work here.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all
So
right.
here's the first hat. I'll
All
let you
right.
pull out of there. And of course, we are Sweetums. Are we still? Oh, it is still neck and neck. All right, still neck and neck. Thank you,
It's gonna be
Sweetums.
a sharp one.
Okay, here we go. This is the quote, correct?
Quote or a fact.
Yeah.
Quote or a fact. This one happens to be a quote.
Oh, okay. All
Tied.
right. We are tied up. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Follow your enthusiasm. It's something I've always believed in. Find those parts of your life you enjoy the most. Do what you enjoy doing. Of course, I think we can all guess who made that quote. It was
Yeah.
Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Said that
Yeah.
one, so.
It'd have been funny if it was like somebody else though. They just think, oh wow, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
It's such a good point. And I one of the things I love about Jim Henson is not so much that I hear something like, oh my God, I never heard anything like that before. It's more so the way he words things and the reminder. It always feels like quotes like that are just a reminder. He's not
Yeah.
preaching to anybody. He's not telling you what to do. He's like, hey,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, enjoy this, or hey, be in the moment, something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of like whimsy that we all have in ourselves, but we don't have the confidence or maybe the encouragement to like tap into it. And he really gives you that like, hey, go tap into your inner child. It's fine.
If the Muppet thing hadn't worked out, I could see him getting like a job with Hallmark and then immediately like losing said job because it's like Hallmark, it's very like 3 words and it's very, you know, just
Oh,
light.
Hallmark cards.
Yeah, Hallmark cards,
Right.
sorry. Well, maybe even in the industry. Where
I was thinking like one of those Hallmark movies. Like
Oh,
I would love a Jim Henson Christmas
Oh,
Hallmark
a
movie.
Muppet one.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we were talking
That would be
about
hilarious.
different
Oh my
genres. Oh, and
gosh.
yes. Oh, I love this.
I need it now.
Yeah, well, Hallmark Christmas
Sounds
did a Muppet movie.
amazing.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, you know, something I was thinking about. It took him a long time to get to the Muppets.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of
people
work.
ought to know that he was in the business. He was in the industry for a long time. He did commercials and he did all kinds of stuff. So he had to have had a passion for doing this
Yeah.
because puppets don't do well. They've never done great
Yeah.
in our entertainment. You know, ventriloquists are kind of looked down upon, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even puppets like that. At least in the United States. No, in other countries like the UK, they have a
Oh,
long
yeah.
history
Very
of it, right?
celebrated, Yeah.
But here, not so much. So it took him a long time to get there, and he must have. I mean, he put everything he did into it, and he must have loved it. He must have loved it in order to put as much work as he did.
The relentlessness of Jim Henson does not get talked about. It does. His business savvy does not get talked
Yeah.
about. He had a 10 out of 10 when it comes to those things. He was a very sweet person, and he had a very kind and good heart. So that's the first thing we think of, and it's good that we do, I think. But I don't think it could be lost in the shuffle that we don't have the Muppets universe that we have without that tenacity, without that relentlessness of I want this, I'm going for this, passion of it.
Yep.
I talk about it all the time with my students or with just about anybody that I ramble at. The difference between the actor you know the name of and the one you don't is just a relentlessness. It comes down to connections, talent. Those things matter. And looks, they all matter. But the biggest thing at the end of the day that I've noticed studying this industry and seeing the people that make it and the people that don't is just that, the relentlessness.
Yeah,
Just
fight.
fighting and going and struggling for that goal. I have no doubt that Jim Henson did that.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's a good one. That was a
Yeah.
good one. That was good.
Good one to set the tone for the rest of the show.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So let's see what Muppet we're
Oh,
gonna
All right,
roll
there we
this.
go. Random Muppet.
Oh, and if it's a
movie.
Muppet you're not familiar with, we could pull a different
Yeah.
one.
Okay, that's
The rule we
okay.
have.
Let's
Yeah,
do this
yeah,
first.
it's a good roll. It's a good roll.
Okay. All right. Let me. I gotta take my glasses off here. Oh no. This one's fine. Beauregard.
Oh, the janitor!
Beauregard, yeah, the
He's
janitor.
more than a janitor.
The janitor. Yes.
Oh,
Beauregard the
yay!
janitor.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good
Beau.
one. Beauregard's a
Yeah,
good one.
how would you guys describe Beauregard?
Yeah. I want to get familiar.
Get a visual there. Yeah.
Oh, so Beauregard has one of my favorite faces, and he's one of my favorite Muppets that I didn't know as a kid. I never knew the name of. I don't remember him mentioning his name, but I love them. Like most of the Muppets are based on an animal. Or sometimes a human being or something like that. You can tell that they're influenced by, Beauregard, I don't know what he is.
I don't know,
and I love that.
Some kind of weird, like, little bear or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's got like human-like hair,
right.
but his face is a little bear-like, a little animal-like. His color, you don't see a lot of like brownish, darker Muppets too. Yeah. I guess there's a couple I can think of now but his fur seemed different too.
Yeah.
It's a fun character. I completely forgot about Beauregard though. I feel a little bad for that.
Yeah, I feel like that's also part of his character. It's not like he himself is forgetful. He's a little absent-minded. But we love him for it.
That's another good description of him. He's always with his trusty broom. He's always got his broom with him.
His pal.
And kind of does he have kind of like a like chef's use?
Like a jumpsuit kind of thing.
It's sort of a jumpsuit.
Sort of a jumpsuit,
it's because he doesn't have just like a little like sheet that he wears over him.
No. More
Yeah.
overall type kind of thing.
Yeah, flannel.
Yeah.
He's got a very happy face to me.
Yeah.
And I always like that for a janitor.
It's
I always
almost
thought that was cool.
childlike, especially with the absent-mindedness. Yeah,
I
it's
think
like he's doing his best. He's just cleaning away.
You know, there's an old trope in entertainment of the janitor like popping in, you know, having the words of wisdom, you know, from the unlikely source, and then going away again, right?
Yeah.
So he does that. He does a little bit, at least early on. I think he kind of did that. And the character got bigger as it went along, as far as I know. I'm not I'm familiar with the character. I'm just not familiar with what he has, what place he's taken in the Muppetverse kind of thing.
Right. It's interesting you mentioned that about the janitor and the role in like TV and movies and everything. I immediately thought of, and I don't know why, but the Carol Burnett show. And it usually wrapped up with the animated thing of the kind of janitor sort of mopping up, and it's Carol. It's an animation of Carol herself, but she's playing kind of a janitor or something. I don't know why I thought of that. I hadn't thought of that in decades. But this type of character is a popular character in TV and cinema. The janitor, you know, in TV, movies, and usually based on stuff taking place in high school. You know, and the janitor is The Breakfast Club is one of the more famous examples of that.
That's true. That's true. Oh man, you go back to any horror movie or science fiction movie that took place in a high school in the 1950s, and there's always a janitor.
Yeah.
They usually end up getting killed.
They're usually either that or they're the killer.
Yeah,
or one or the other.
Yeah, right.
One or the other. Yeah.
But they're always this like grumpy old dude, you know. That's
yeah.
I didn't even connect this right away, but I used to be a janitor, so I feel a little bit of kingship.
Did you?
I was a night janitor at the YMCA.
Right.
So
very good. Well, hey, there you go.
9 p.m. to midnight.
Life experience, man.
That's
got it.
Yeah. $8 an hour. That'll put some character in you for sure.
Just a little bit of history on Beauregard here. Beauregard is the dim but lovable janitor in the Muppet Theater who took over the mantle from George the janitor beginning in episode 310 of the Muppet Show.
Oh, I remember George.
I completely forgot about George.
He was a lot older though,
Yeah. That's great. I had forgotten about George. So that's a good one to mention. I like that.
I love the fact that they have job changes in the,
yes.
in the universe. I love that.
George
retired,
older, so
you know, he was.
Yes,
Wow.
That's a good one.
What do you guys think George did with his retirement?
I think George is in Hawaii or in some great, you know.
He was kind of grumpy though, wasn't he? George was really grumpy.
Maybe because of the job.
Yeah. I the one thing I know for sure, George is nowhere near any Muppets. George retired. He like, I'm done with this.
These guys
are crazy. I like to think that George was Beauregard's reference. That's how I got the gig. That's how I got the job.
This guy, he's better than me.
There's this ring of janitors, like a lower society.
Yes.
Well, should we put Bo in a situation?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's get him in a situation
This
here.
Muppet hat.
Just one.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
It's always a good sign.
Being a political year,
Oh boy.
What would this Muppets campaign slogan be?
Oh, Beauregard.
Beauregard, he'll clean up America.
Yeah. He's sweeping the nation.
Yes, yeah, that's good. That's good.
To be fair, you know, is he any worse than absent-mindedly than some other politicians we have
really.
right now?
Well done. Well done.
So,
I mean,
you know.
I gotta think he's gonna pull some votes. He's gonna pull some votes if it goes
Beauregard,
wrong.
you could do worse.
There it is. That's it.
Wonderful.
That's the
Wow. What the politics.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Wow, yeah.
Not only do I like this, I think that we need to make a law that only Muppets can run for office.
I mean,
we only
yeah.
have Muppets in.
I would be okay with that.
From mayor to the president. Like I want a whole Supreme Court of nothing but Muppets. I want, yeah,
Why is
yeah.
Miss Piggy at the top of that Supreme
Why-
Court?
Yes, yeah. Oh, she would be definitely. Yeah.
You know, I know Disney would be very against this, but I honestly, they should have a Muppet like political debate series.
Oh, yes.
That'd
Like,
be fun.
yes.
Especially during
Sam
this
the
time.
Eagle is gotta be one of the candidates.
Yes.
But then, well, why not Beauregard as the other candidate?
Yeah.
I think that would be hilarious.
Yes.
So funny.
I would be glued to that. I would be just not. It's so hard to get people to care about politics
Yeah.
and to get people to watch debates or any of those things. You throw some Muppets in there.
Hey,
Huh?
get Bob Iger on the phone.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Might even be like a nice refresher of all the stressors
Oh, yeah.
of everything. Be like, you know what?
It's true.
Let's go to the Muppet universe.
When have you ever been mad at a Muppet? And go ahead and try. Go look at Kermit's face. You try to be mad at
no,
that
you
face.
can't be mad at
You
that
can't.
You know, the guy that blows stuff up. You can't be mad at
How
him
crazy is he?
constantly, you know?
Oh, there's a little heart inside that craze.
That's great. I think we're onto something here.
I think so,
I think
too.
we've been doing. I've always felt that, and I'm biased about this, but I do think America's democracy, American politics are really a cut above, and really I back it. I'm a big believer in it. That being said, maybe we've been doing it wrong. Maybe just by this. Maybe we just
admit we've
needed
been
add a
wrong.
dash Muppets.
I have a question for you guys. If you had to be a political campaign, what do they call that?
Manager. Campaign
yeah,
manager.
of like a Muppet who's running, who would you back?
Oh, what Muppet would you back?
Yeah.
Well, easily, I think Kermit would be the easiest candidate to back. And the easiest, I should say, I'm looking at this, because if I'm the manager, I want to get them elected. And I think Kermit would be the easiest Muppet to get elected.
He can be a little wishy-washy. He can
True.
get, he gets
Oh,
That's true. He
a
does.
little
great
bit.
point.
He does have
He
trouble
buckles
making
under
decisions.
pressure.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking about popularity. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
mean, with that aside,
Oh, but
yeah.
that's a great point. He's gonna lose some votes off of that.
Yeah.
That's,
Make up
oh,
your
no.
mind, frog.
Yeah, because I say this, and I don't think any of our presidents. It's pretty hard to look at them and think, okay, well, why would people hate them? And then they talk, and then it's like, yes. So as soon as Kermit opened his mouth, you're right.
You're like,
Well, Wow, I'm trying to. There's flaws in all the characters. Miss Piggy, of course, is very decisive, but
Yeah.
she's also very destructive.
Yeah.
So
lateral control.
her poor cabinet would be constantly being fired, and then someone new would have to
Right.
come in, right?
One of the things that we touch on with this show is highlighting how the Muppets are such a good mirror to humans and highlight so many of those things.
Yeah.
So with that, it's going to be pretty hard to find a perfect candidate. You're
Right.
Huh.
One, I would back Uncle Deadly.
Ooh.
He
Interesting.
is
Dark horse
strong,
choice.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he like believes in what he believes in, and what a sassy man. I want to back
I like
him.
that. I will say, I think that Beaker would be a really interesting candidate. I think that it's pretty hard to get bent out of shape at what he says. I mean, you don't even know. We don't even know.
No one knows what his policies are,
Nobody-
so they would just.
Everyone's
Well,
happy.
I just like the cut of his jib, As
I love the
Someone you
idea.
can grab a beer with.
yeah.
I love the idea of Beaker's running for president and Bunsen his VP, but you
Yeah.
never hear from his VP. Like
No.
Bunsen, the one that talks, he never says hardly anything. He's just kind of there. I like
Oh,
a reversal of the roles with those two.
How about Scooter?
I was thinking Scooter too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a nice guy, but he's not like Kermit. He's able to make decisions, and
Yeah.
he's kind of like the moral compass
He really
of
is.
the Muppets sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he would be the best candidate. I don't know.
All of these are good ones. I think if I had to choose one that I would like to back, I'm not looking at this right. I'm thinking that would be fun. Pepe. I think Pepe is a candidate. Yeah.
He gets elected.
Yeah, he probably does.
He's
yeah.
the one that gets elected.
With Rizzo as his VP.
Empty promises.
Yeah. Empty or tons of empty promises. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Everyone will get a jet ski.
Everybody get jet skis for everybody. Yeah.
Pepe for president.
Oh,
That's
I
our
like
next
it.
merch shirt.
There you go.
Yes, that is definitely a shirt. We have to make
Oh
that
my
shirt.
gosh,
That's a
wow.
good one.
That's
Oh,
a
great
good one.
question. That's a
Yeah,
good
That
very
was a good one.
timely too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in Civic, we are a political station. We
Right.
talk a lot of politics here,
Yeah.
so that worked out pretty good.
This
That's funny.
upcoming Tuesday, I'm going to be an election official at the primary, and it's my first PM shift, so that's going to be
Oh, wow.
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That does segue into thanking you for being a poll worker for all
You're
these
very
years.
welcome.
And encourage others to do so, and most
Yeah.
importantly, look out for our poll workers, treat our poll workers well. Democracy stays alive through people like this,
Aw.
individuals, everyday Americans that volunteer their time to be able to do this so that we can keep this whole experiment of democracy going and continue what we're doing here in this country and around the world and be an example around the world. They're watching us and how we treat our poll workers, how we treat our politicians. They're all seeing all these things. So that's important.
Tune into the morning show from 8 to 10 on
I told you it was gonna
WFHR.
happen. You put me
Something
I should have
behind
sat
that
over there.
desk.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
No.
Our next hat.
Yes. Oh, yes. All right.
Would you hat?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
I appreciate the thank you.
I just,
Yeah,
I
can't help it.
There's like a
I know,
soapbox over here. To be fair, I just stepped out of that accident.
This might be one of the easiest questions I think
Oh.
you may have ever had. Would you trust this Muppet to house sit for you? Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you
He's
have
a janitor.
plans,
Yeah.
though,
Oh.
don't forget to water them.
Might forget things, yes, but your
True.
house is going to be very clean.
Clean.
Yeah.
Yes, the house will be nice and clean when you get
Oh.
back.
Take a
Yeah.
little grain of salt with it. You know? Yeah, but the plants are the animal is starving and the plants are starving.
Yeah,
Yes.
he might have forgotten that you live there and he moves in. He's like, I guess this is my house.
That's true. You come back and he's still there for a week. It's like, oh, you didn't leave? Oh, okay, sorry.
I guess you live here now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm picturing this, but I'm picturing his wherever he lives in the Muppet building, in the Muppet theater, is like probably just like a janitor closet almost. And he's got a little
That
cot
would
thing
make
set
sense.
up. So I love all of that. But he moves all that into your house, but just in the living room.
Yeah.
He's
That's
just
all the
living.
space he's
Yeah,
used to,
everything.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. So he's got everything in the living room.
Oh, Beauregard.
I think a good side question is, would he could make a good roommate?
Oh.
And again, I think he would, but you'd have to be on him about the rent.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
We'd have
Hey,
to leave sticky notes everywhere,
Yes.
like, empty the dishwasher.
Yeah, sticky notes literally on everything.
Oh man, that's gonna be maybe a sad looking house.
And the fact that I think he's basically attached to his broom too, so
Yeah.
it makes
Very
it hard
true.
to do other
Yes.
things.
It's
But
a
still,
package deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
think that he would be like fun to be around though. Like, he doesn't seem like someone that's hard to get along with.
He really comes across somebody that, especially if you're having a bad day, he might be able to cheer you up. He might be able to be,
Hey,
you know.
it's not so bad.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
I can see
hello.
that.
When you said the janitor closet thing, that was a good segue for me because sometimes we bring up our favorite moments with these Muppets, and you and I recently watched the 2011
Yeah.
Muppets, and one of my favorite parts is when they finally get to the studio and they're gonna clean it up, and they open the closet, and Beauregard has been in there for decades, but it doesn't even faze him. He's like,
So that's why he's
"Hello."
perfect, right? He's almost a piece of furniture, yeah.
Yeah.
So even if he did stay after house sitting, you probably it would be fine.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't even notice, you know.
Hey, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good moment.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That may be my favorite scene of his.
Yeah.
Like that may be my favorite. It might have been my favorite moment in the movie. I
Yeah.
love that moment. I love the inside humor, the
Mhm.
inside jokes to the audience
Yeah.
that they do. I've said this before. I don't think anybody's ever been better at giving you humor for all ages, like the Muppets.
Yeah,
The parents
absolutely.
find things to laugh at as much as the kids in
Yeah.
their shows. But with Beauregard, in that moment with that, I think it's also a nice like throwback to like, hey, you remember, you know,
Yeah,
this has been around a while.
Yeah.
We've been doing it. We got so many
Yeah.
characters. We got characters we forget.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
it's a great
Oh
joke.
my
It was a
gosh.
great joke.
I love his scene too, and I think it's Caper, where he's the driver, and he
Oh.
like picks them up and takes them or something, and he drives through the Happy Hotel, or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it's called, Happiness Hotel. Yeah, oh man.
There's a lot of great moments for him.
He's just, he's lovable.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that face. I don't know how you can
Yeah.
get mad at that face. It's got such a happy, fun
Yeah,
face.
Yeah, yeah.
like his little flyaway hairs too.
Yeah.
Just
And
floating around.
I also like that they included a janitor on the show. You know,
Yeah.
I think another thing that kids picked up on from it, was subconsciously or not, was the how to treat other people, like how to treat retail people, people working
Yeah.
this and doing this job and everything.
Like blue collar stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea, you know, I know it was a big deal to my father growing up that you treat the clerk the same as the chef. That you treat, you know, that
Yeah.
the president of the company the same way you do the person on the bottom or what have you. And the Muppets kind of give you a little of that. They kind of, I think,
that's a good point.
in their own way. Something that you brought up, Seth, before, just going back a little, because I wanted to bring this up, that I've never really thought much about, is how big the Muppets are around the world. I never really think much about that. I focus really here on the States and how big it is here, and certainly gigantic here, and it might be bigger here than anywhere else. But you're right about the puppeteering around the rest of the world, the way it's looked at. It's got such a high respect, especially China and places like that.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Long
a,
cultural history.
yeah. So I wonder how different it is around the world. I've never really thought much about that. I have to look into that. That's a cool thought.
It really is like a difficult art form. Like you know, some puppets look silly and cute and stuff, but it's hard. Like I've never done it before, but I've seen videos with like, you know, you have to do the rod and the hand. It's a lot of multitasking.
Well, and it's not great when there's a history of like bad
Yes.
puppetry in the United States too. I'm looking at you, Senior Wences.
Yeah.
But it's when it's done good, you know, like Jeff Dunham has kind of made ventriloquism a little more cool than it was, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But
And he's steak.
I mean, can you name, you know, you know, I mean, other than. Sure, they've popped up, and like my favorite show of all time has puppets in it, you know.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be robots, so I mean it's one of those things. But
It is cool. I think about it all the time. I've been watching more Mystery Science Theater than ever. They've got the marathon going on all the time and stuff. And I think about it when I see the old ones, especially.
Yeah.
And you see the stick of Crow's hand or something
Yeah,
like
right.
that. And I never watched that show and thought about it before, but this show has made me look at all shows differently. And when it comes to like other shows, I never thought they had puppets on that show. You know, you're right. I think of them as robots, so I didn't really think about it, but they're puppets.
sorry, there was an open on one of the shows where Tom and Crow are arguing over what puppets are, what they actually like, marionettes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And they do mention a couple of Muppets in there.
right.
More specific, okay, Muppet, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
The fact that they're puppets,
Muppet.
talking about puppets though, that's great.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And it's akin to, I don't think you have Mystery Science Theater without the Muppet Show.
Oh no.
You know, things
I
like
think Joel Hodgson has mentioned that too. That he's out. He was a prop comic.
Oh yeah.
When he got started, so he was always big into. He liked puppets, of course. So yeah.
That's cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well,
Next hat.
we'll draw
Oh,
the
that's right, we got
last
one more.
hat.
Okay.
Patreon
Yeah.
hat.
Ooh, the Patreon.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
This
That's
is
why the
from
color is different. All right. This Muppet asks you for a $500 loan. Do you give it to them? And if so, what are they spending it on?
Oh, Beauregard.
This is, and I take it this was sent in by someone. This is from Aza, from Puppet Show at the End of Time.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Asa.
Very
Thank
good friend
you.
of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. All
A
right.
great question.
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
question. I would not have
my.
thought of something like that. That's a great question.
Does he even know what money is? I got this feeling that he just got, you know, like you said, he was in the closet for a decade. I mean,
He obviously doesn't need much.
No,
So
he
why
doesn't.
does he need $500?
That was my first question. Why does
Yeah.
Beauregard of all the Muppets need like
There's
any
a
other Muppet
state-of-the-art
has?
broom that's
Yeah.
out.
oh, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Maybe he found a
actually-
really cool broom.
I think he got scammed, and he needs $500
Oh,
for like a princess
yeah,
overseas
yeah.
or
Yeah,
something.
yes, yeah.
Oh,
You
wow.
guys, there's this guy overseas that can't get over here unless we help him.
He's my best friend.
He's a really good guy.
He's another janitor that I met. A
Yeah.
little more Sam the Eagle. I
Yeah.
can't do both
No, I
voices
got
very
it.
well.
We got there.
Unfortunately, he's stuck in a prison.
Boy, I really don't like myself for this, but I don't know if I would.
I don't know if I have $500.
Yeah, that's definitely no.
Well, that's part of it too,
Yeah,
right?
that's definitely no. But if let's say you did have the money
Right.
and you could afford to do it. Boy, I would.
Yeah, I'm such a people pleaser that I'd be like, let's figure it out. Like,
I
first off,
feel
why
like
do you
it.
need it?
I would have to ask why.
Yeah.
I think a really fun, and I love the question, I wouldn't change it, but if you were really kind of tinkering with it, if we were to tinker with it a little bit, it would be that he asks you for the 500, but you can't ask him what it's for.
Oh.
Like that, then it would be a much tougher question.
Concerned.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
a little
concerned.
concerned, yeah.
Like,
Because it'd be out of
Beauregard,
character.
It didn't seem, that would be weird, because otherwise he's, he would tell you, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He's open and honest about
What
it.
if he's like a closeted gambler?
I just thought of that. I thought
No.
of the gambling right away. I swear to God, I thought of gambling right away. And I'm like, it's a kid show.
Come on, come on, guys. It's not like he's some famous baseball player's, interpreter. Or something. Sorry, I just instantly dated the show, but
No, that was perfect. That was great.
They gotta have something to do after the show.
All right, I'll lend him the money, but I have to go with him with whatever he's using it
okay.
for. I just want to see how this plays out.
Right.
I'm
It's
not
your
even worried
money.
about him paying me back. I just got to see where this is going.
he would probably forget to pay back anyway. I mean,
Yes.
it's not like it's probably gone money by then, so just give it to him,
Oh man.
So, and again, I guess we did the what are they spending it on, but
Yeah.
he doesn't seem to have many needs. So, yeah.
He's got this new mop that has a laser pointer on it, and you can point on the dirt. You can
Like this real cool floor cleaner, it's got a motor.
People
Yeah.
talk about-
It's a Zimbabwe or whatever.
Or Zimbabwe, yeah.
Zimbabwe or something. It's just like it's all over. I like
It's gonna
that too.
destroy the state. Oh, that was so much fun. Thank you, Beauregard.
Yeah, thank you,
That was
Beauregard.
great.
Thank you, Beauregard, and thank you, Seth, for doing
Yeah,
this
thank
with
you
us.
so
Hey,
much.
not a
I
problem.
really do
Really fun.
appreciate it.
I'm not as well versed in the Muppet universe as a lot of people who probably watch it and listen to this, but it's something that I think most people could say something about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty universal
Yeah.
genre, whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of a kind, so I'm not sure what to call it, but
No, that's interesting.
but it's so, and it has, like you said, it has such a long history that you can find different sections. I was into it on the Muppet Show, and then the first movies or whatever like that, and then kids today can talk about the stuff that they've seen on Disney Plus and the off shows. By the way, I just have to say the Electric Mayhem show was so good.
It was
Yeah.
so
Oh
good.
my
It
God.
was so
Really
sad
good.
it was
That
canceled.
I know. I don't know why.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, it's okay, like, it was good as a one-season thing, but they left it off where
I
it could have
loved
gone.
it.
I loved it too.
I thought it was really great.
I've
really
heard
fun.
rumblings that they're thinking about bringing it back to a different network, like ABC and Disney are owned by the same company,
Right,
so
yeah.
it would be on like an ABC or
I
something.
didn't know that.
Yeah, Disney
I've
Corp
heard
owns them both.
rumors of it,
Okay.
just because there has been fan feedback
Yeah.
like that.
It was
and
so cool.
It was very clever, and I thought I
Yeah.
loved the way that they did the whole rockumentary thing
Yes.
with it. It
Yeah.
was very funny.
I even liked the human characters in it too.
Yeah.
I was like a little apprehensive at first. I was like, who are these people? But I ended up
They
really
did a good
liking
job.
them. Yeah.
I do think even if they don't bring that back, I think it's a great idea of doing these one-off seasons of like and focusing on certain Muppets
Right,
and
yeah.
kind of highlighting them a little bit back
Would
their
make sense.
backstory.
I would
It
watch
works
one.
for Marvel and DC.
Right.
I mean,
Sure, why not? Yeah.
they're making tons of films off of it. So I mean,
Right.
why not? And it's owned. Hey, Marvel is owned by Disney, so there you go.
That's
Right,
true.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh, there's a crossover: Marvel and Muppets.
Yes,
Oh my God.
yes. Well, we
God,
can
I would
talk
love
about
to see
this for
that.
a while. I would love to see like Fozzie as Iron Man. Like, I love that. I love. There's so many great mashups you can make here.
Oh man.
He's got literal joke bombs.
Yes.
His bombing jokes actually are
I
bombs.
think Kermit is Iron Man. I
Yeah.
still love
I
that.
think he might be. Oh my
Some
God.
good stuff.
No. Kermit's got to be Captain America.
Oh yes.
He's gotta be.
Perfect.
You know,
Yes. I like that.
Yeah, either him or Sam the Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
That might
kind
be
of
a
like
little
right
too
on
on
the
the
nose.
nose.
I don't mind it. Oh yeah. Have some fun with this one, everybody. And I do want to remind you that my partner over here does some amazing work, not only on our radio stations, but he has a show, Seth Faces the Music. It's on every Sunday from 6 to 8 right here at our station. Even if you don't listen and you're not in our area, you can catch all of our radio shows. They're all at civicmedia.us. Encourage you to do that. Check out his show, Seth Faces the Music. It is an awesome show. He takes a different theme every week, focuses some music around it, and some other audio, and a lot of fun banter that you do. I love the show. It's one of my favorites.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I almost award-winning show.
Yes.
Which we haven't found out yet. But anyway, so
Yeah, check
award
that out,
nominated.
everybody.
Can I call it that? Award nominated show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that works. I think that works. I feel like you could almost say that about any show. Because, you know, I mean, any award you could be talking about. So I might start doing the award. Thank you for listening to the award-winning podcast, What the Muppet Is. But the award nominated.
Award nominated there.
Award nominated.
So you actually get the award.
Yeah.
Then you can say it, you know.
My little
You want to be honest.
My little cutie too, she's hard. Is like, don't lie. We didn't actually get nominated for anything yet.
We'll have a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
So it's not actually won it.
No actual awards were won.
No actual awards were handed out this one. And do follow us. Do support local radio, everybody. Civicmedia.us is where all of our shows are, our morning shows are, and everything. And thank you so much to everybody that does listen and join.
Yeah.
Big thank you to my partner in radio over here,
thank you
Seth,
so
for
much,
joining
Seth.
us.
Oh, it was
really
fun. Thanks for asking me.
I appreciate you being
absolutely.
here.
And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you. Thanks for helping us find the Rainbow Connection.
And we'll catch you guys later. Bye.